Hey everybody, it's Mike again here with another one of my builds that I have going on. This is going to be the refurbishing of an original 1980s Chuck E. Cheese Showtime Pizza Theater robot. This one was called the King. You guys are going to have to bear with me on this first segment because they're going to be still pictures that I'm going to have to scroll through. Initially, when I started this project, I didn't really think I would be doing anything like this, so I didn't think to take any videos. It was also a pretty slow process of taking everything apart, so it wouldn't have been that exciting anyway. The other segments are going to be videos. They are, once I had him put back together, some of the actuators, with him still taken apart, how some of the things work. So that should be a little bit more interesting there, right? So this first picture that we're on is how I got him. This is how he got shipped to me on a pallet. He had no legs. He was saran wrapped all together on this plate. And what this plate is the main steel. It's actually a 1/4-inch steel plate that he stands on. And there's a post that comes up the back which supports him. And that had been cut as well as part of whatever happened to this poor guy. So I got him knowing that I was going to have to fabricate legs for him. I was going to have to weld this pole back together, have the computer or any of the control software or anything like that. So I had already done some research on a standalone controller. And I'll get into that later in the video. He did have his full costume. He had his guitar and everything that would make him whole once I fabricated some legs. Now as we jump into this next picture, this is when I had started disassembling him. You can see the foam on the inside that helps build out his chest, and to the left there, that dryer vent hose looking thing, that's one of his arms. What they did was they used that with another pipe inside to try and give his arms the form or shape, so when it's inside the costume they actually look like round arms. You can see the same or a little bit better in this one. It goes all the way down and actually still has his hand on the end of it. The back of his head's taken off at this point. You can see a little bit behind there. I think this next clip will be a little bit closer into what that is. Now in here you can see the mechanics that work the inside of his head. Right there in the middle is a little small cylinder. That's what blinks his eyes. Off to the left and the right, those two wiggle his ears up and down. And the larger cylinder to the middle and below is actually what tilts his whole head down. It's just another view, kind of like a side view of where the front of him's still on. And you can see the chest plate and then the arm on the other side. That here we've got all of the chest plate and foam off to where you can see just the main stand that holds up the upper torso of his body, and it still has the two arm pieces on there. In this picture you can see there's really not much to him. It's just a little flat bar across the middle. It's got those round circles which kind of form his shoulders, so he actually looks proportional when the costume is on. Now this part here is obviously the shell of his face after it's been peeled off. There's two halves to it. It's actually got Velcro that runs along that perimeter of his hairline that kind of sandwiches the two pieces together. So, and as it goes here to the next one, this close up, this is where I started to clean some of the fur. You can see on the right hand side it's a whole lot nicer looking than the left. As I was doing this, I started thinking about these things. If you think back in the early 80s, which this is from 1982 is what some of the markings on the inside of it were, is, if you think about it, back at those times you could smoke in restaurants and everything. So this thing spent its life in a place with people smoking and food and all kinds of stuff, and so it actually has weathered pretty good considering. Now in this picture, and thanks for bearing with me, these are going to be the last couple stills. These are his eyeballs. Interesting fact about these that I found out is, if you guys have ever been to Chuck E. Cheese back in the day and played the skee ball game, his eyes are actually the brown skee balls that you throw down the thing. They took those, basically, you'll see in this second picture, they drill out the top and the back to hollow out the inside, I'm sure, to make it somewhat lighter weight, and then it has the pin through the bottom there. and that's what makes up his eyes. You can see the one on the right, that's how it came out of him. It's, you know, dingy and dark colored. His actual pupils, or the iris of his eye, they're a hard plastic cone almost that kind of fits over the front, and it actually covers one of the holes that they have drilled through it, which you can see the one on the left has wood putty in it, and I had already done a basic coat of paint on that. I puttied in the holes, and then you'll see here in this last picture, one of my backgrounds that I do is signs and vinyl graphics, and I still have all my equipment. And I went ahead and redrew the center part of his eye as best I could to duplicate the way it looked, and I printed out a decal of it. And then once I had filled in that hole, sanded it all down, had the shape and everything nice and smooth, I went ahead and laid the decal over it to recreate the center of his eye, and it actually came out really, really good. And again, when we get to the other videos here down the road where it's actually videos, you'll be able to see the finished product once it's in there and how it came out. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching this and bearing through it. I know, like I said, nobody likes to go to YouTube and watch something that's just a bunch of still pictures scrolling around, but hopefully the rest should be a little more entertaining. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below. If you'd like to see oddball projects like this and some of the other things I have going on, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I'm trying to do some updates periodically and some of the things I'm building. All right? Thanks for watching.